There we go. Ugh. Okay, what is up, everyone? So, welcome back to part 3 of Ask the King, episode 43. Let's hope we don't have any further problems with power. What I did is, I've got my air conditioner on, but it's on fan only. So unless it kicks in the motor for air conditioning, it probably won't draw as much power, and we shouldn't have a problem. If it does happen again, be patient. We'll come back, and then I'll just not turn it on at all, this whole thing, and I'm going to have to rerun all my wires across my unit to get that to not happen anymore, okay? Alright, so, let's continue on. Unfortunately, I have a shitload of questions left, and because of all the delays, now we're behind, so let's go now. Alright, the next question is a common question that a bunch of people ask, so I'll just read it aloud. What's going to happen once I move and there's a time zone change? How will that affect the streams that I have when I move? So, it's true. When I move to the West Coast, there's going to be a 3-hour time difference, correct? And because of that 3-hour time difference, you might think that, Phil's schedules for live streams and his uploads and everything is going to change. But here's the bottom line. So right now, every day, roughly, I start my first stream anywhere around 1:30 to 2:30, even up to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, whatever the hell you like to call it. And my second stream usually starts around 8:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard or Eastern Daylight Time. On the West Coast, are you telling me the stream crashed again? It did. It did, but the power didn't go out this time. Now it's Twitch. Oh my god. Twitch seriously is crashing now. I'm not even kidding you. Unbelievable. As soon as I started talking, seriously, as soon as I started talking, Twitch crapped out, and now I gotta wait for it to come back. It looks like it may be coming back in a minute here. Come on. I may just have to continue on, guys, because at this point, I don't know what else to do. Twitch is fucked up this week. My power's going off this week. It's just not very good. It's a bad situation. Okay. Alright, I'm going to continue on and answer this question. So, when I move across the country, I will have a 3-hour time shift. That's absolutely true. However, here's the thing when you think about it. So, right now I'm starting streaming, 1:32 p.m. Erase 3 hours from that. So that would be 10:30, 11 p.m., right? I'm sorry, 10:30, 11 a.m. That's kind of a reasonable time for people to get up and start working, right? My second stream right now starts between 8:30 and 9 p.m. We'll subtract 3 hours from that. Okay, 5:36 p.m. And then it goes on till around 9-ish. So you see what I'm saying? What I could literally do is once I get out to Washington is stream and record and upload at the exact same times that I do now, only it'll be a different time over there. And I won't have to change my sleep schedule or anything, right? Right now I actually stay up quite late, usually supervising uploads and stuff. Then I don't. Instead, the uploads will be uploading earlier. They'll be done earlier. I will be going to bed 3 hours earlier than I do now, so I can get up 3 hours earlier. But the thing is, there is no difference. It'll be the same exact time for me. It'll just say it's a different time because it says it's a different time zone. So bottom line is, at least initially when we start on the West Coast, I'm going to try to do everything at the same exact times. I'm not going to try to change anything. So if you've been watching my streams at a certain time, that time should not change. I'm going to try to keep doing the same times consistently. We'll see how that works. It may or may not work, okay? But we'll see how that works initially, and we'll go from there. But hopefully there won't be a large shift in the times, okay? All right, next. This one's from Filipino Gamer, and he asks, I have 2 questions regarding Smark Guys, which is my ongoing pro wrestling commentary show that I do with John Rambo. So question number 1, will Smark Guys remain a weekly show, or will it be a monthly show? Number 2, will you continue in simulating WWE pay-per-views with John Rambo, or will Extreme Rules Sims be the last pay-per-view simulations you will ever do? Good questions. The first question is, it's probably still going to be a weekly show as long as we can do it. We're going to try to do it every Saturday like we've been doing. That may change, but for now we're going to try to keep it the same, okay? There will be times when we can't do it, I'm sure. There'll be weeks when maybe I'm busy on a Saturday, John's busy on a Saturday, maybe we'll try to reschedule. If anything, this is kind of funny, it may become more consistent Because if you remember correctly, the reason that I wasn't doing Smark Guys every single week is because once a week my girlfriend would come from Pennsylvania to Connecticut, and that week or weekend we'd be doing stuff together, so we would not do Smark Guys that week. Now my girlfriend's going to be living with me, so we're going to be doing stuff all the time. It's not like we have to take an entire day of Saturday to dedicate to be doing stuff together, and therefore as long as we don't have any plans that are kind of interfering with that, we can actually just go ahead and do Smark Guys for the hour and a half it takes, and I could get on with my life doing other stuff. So Smark Guys may actually become more consistent with the move. We'll have to see. Okay? Now, when you talk about the Extreme Rules sims, are those going to be the last pay-per-view simulations ever? It's a good question. Here's the thing. This weekend coming up, we're doing stuff, but we're not sure what yet. Maybe some old school stuff. Maybe we'll play Mario. Maybe we'll play a couple other things people have had suggestions of. Okay? That's a possibility this weekend. The weekend after, which would be the appropriate weekend to do the simulations for the next WWE pay-per-view, which is Payback, is the release of Mario Kart 8. And I hate to say it, but that's going to trump it because Mario Kart 8 is huge. People are going to want to see John and I doing gameplay split screen while playing against other people online. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I definitely want to do that, okay? So that being said, since we're doing that, that unfortunately is going to trump any kind of sims that we might have done next week. I just want to say that up front, okay? That doesn't mean that we may not do a final episode of Sims, because actually we have that final bye week, the week after Mario Kart 8, where it'll be after the Payback pay-per-view. Okay, it will be. But there's a possibility that we may do some final thing, and maybe Sims will do all Fantasy Sim Marathon, the final in-person Sims Fantasy Sim Marathon, and we'll just do the most zany, off-the-wall stuff you've ever thought of. Maybe it'll have some wrestlers, some fantasy characters. People love it when we do the Sims with fantasy characters. I know that. We love it too. And obviously we want to go out with a bang, so maybe we will do a final thing. The week after that, which will be, I think, June 14th, I'm going to have the big Street Fighter get-together, where there's going to be tons of people here playing Street Fighter, so we can't do it then, so maybe we'll squeeze it in that bye week, okay? Okay, next question. This one's from Zombie Gamer, and he asks, what are your thoughts on the Xbox One's Kinectless version that's now going to be sold for $400? I really don't have many thoughts on it, because the bottom line is this. We knew back when the Xbox One came out, you didn't need the Kinect. The Kinect was an ultimate lie by Microsoft to force a peripheral down your throat at the launch of the Xbox One that no one wanted. No one wanted the Kinect. Everyone had to pay extra money for it, and now it's come to fruition. It's worthless. The voice commands suck. The actual moving your hands around doesn't detect it any better than the previous Kinect. It's the same old shit. It doesn't really help with navigating through your cable box or anything. It's garbage. The Kinect is garbage. It was garbage back then on the Xbox 360. It's garbage now on the Xbox One. Microsoft lied to the consumer. So now they realize, oh shit, Sony has sold 7 million PS4s worldwide. We've only shipped 5 million to stores and only sold a fraction of those. We're losing this big console battle right now. We need to do something. So they didn't want to do it. They held out. Here we are. Finally, 6 months after the fact, they've drastically figured they have to do something. They're cutting the Kinect out of the bundle. I really have no other comment. I already said months ago, they lied. They were fucking liars. The people who made the decision to have the Kinect bundled in, usually they probably don't work for the company anymore. Those 3 guys all got shifted out of their management roles, and now Microsoft has to pick up the pieces where those 3 guys completely fucked the company up. So, the good news is, if you are into Xbox, you held off, you didn't get a PS4, you didn't get an Xbox One, go get your Xbox One, enjoy next-gen gaming, and don't have to worry about the piece of shit Kinect, which I could literally take off my TV and throw in the fucking trash right now, because that's the amount of work that it has. It's a piece of shit. Okay, next question is from the Dark Bean 4, and he asks, hey Phil, I was wondering about your thoughts on people using video games to escape reality and ignore their real-life problems. Do you think it's hurting video games in any way? I personally believe it's better than using drugs and alcohol to cope with your real-life difficulties, but I still think it's not the right decision to abuse video gaming like that. Okay? Well, that is an interesting thing to say. Because I've been saying for years, I've been saying this, and we already had a question earlier about online social media and how people are all into social media and they don't really have real in-person friends. Is that okay? It's the same thing that's been happening with video games, but specific kinds. There's been things that have been life simulators like Sims and Second Life that people have sunk so many hours of life into to make a virtual world that they feel is better than their real life situation. There are people out there who only play MMORPGs or MMO games in general because they have social interaction with people there that they don't have in real life. They've got this clan or this league or this group that they're part of, and they feel like, wow, I'm part of something, when in real life they don't have any connections to any of that, right? There are people who in real life, I don't have a lot of money, I have a shitty job, I hate my life, so as soon as I get home, I jump online and I spend 12 hours straight playing an MMO with my friends because that makes me feel good about life. And this is a very dangerous thing, okay? Because here's the deal. First of all, and I know many people will disagree with me, but I am of the impression that we get one life to live. Now, there's everyone out there has a different religious belief or belief about the afterlife or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying you have right now, you're in a body, you have one life to live. You have a limited amount of time to spend on this planet Earth as who you are right now, okay? And you need to be able to experience as much as you can during that period of time. I'm not saying that you have to be Mr. Everyone. You have to be climbing mountains and jumping out of fucking planes and dual sword wielding and fucking, you know. Not saying you have to be a crazy extreme sports guy, but there's tons of things on planet Earth to experience that are worth experiencing. A lot of people say life is awful. Life ultimately is beautiful if you're allowed to experience the good parts of it, okay? I have been at times in my life where I hated my life. I said, I don't want to get up tomorrow. I hate my job, or I don't have a job. I hate school. My parents are being dicks. I hate the people around me. It's a bad situation. Everything in my life is negative. I don't want to get up, and I don't want to be around, you know? And there are people who are in that situation. They don't. They get out of bed, and they jump on their computer. They jump into their games, and this is what they do. This is what they do. This is how they cope with life. Because the reality sucks. They cope with it by going into a virtual reality. Now, what I have to say is this. If it helps you, right? If it helps you mentally cope with stuff going on, far be it from anyone to say you shouldn't do it. But as with everything in life, all things in moderation, right? Just because you feel better when you play a video game doesn't mean you should be only playing World of Warcraft 14, 15, 16 hours a day, right? And doing nothing and making no effort whatsoever to improve your life situation in real life. Okay? There are situations where people can't do anything about their real life situations, and games help. Child's Play. Ever heard of that charity? That Penny Arcade Expo, Penny Arcade are behind. Kids who are terminally ill or have diseases that are just really serious. They're hospital bound. They can't leave the hospital, so they can't improve their situation. Give them a video game. They go into a virtual world. They feel better. Okay? That is a perfect example of using a video game to escape your real life problems and getting something positive out of it. But if you're not active, if you have no job, no friends, nothing going on, and you're not actively doing anything in real life and you're ignoring that situation just to play video games 24/7, that's the red flag. That is the fuck up. That's where things are not going to go right for you. Everything in moderation at the right time. Okay? So, there you go. There's different situations where I could see that escaping reality to games is a great positive, and other situations where if that's all you do and you don't do it in moderation, it could ruin your life. So you got to be careful with that, okay? Okay, next question. This one is from Litario. He phonetically spelled it out, and I didn't print it out, so now I can't remember how to say it. I apologize, dude. Or madam, I don't know which you are. But, okay. So, his question is as follows. Phil, you received complaints earlier this year for playing too many JRPG games in such a short amount of time, such as Final Fantasy X HD Remaster, Child of Light, and Tales of Symphonia HD. This is added on to the fact that some of your fans aren't interested in JRPGs, or that the JRPGs didn't have an interesting topic. You said that you played these games because there were very few other new releases coming out, and that there was really nothing else major to play. But some fans beg to differ and believe that there were other games that maybe you either put on hold. No, that there were other games that you should have played, and you could have put the JRPGs on hold or saved them for later. Some say that there were other games that you skipped, or that you should have played to have more variety to your content. What can we, the fans, do to make it easier to notify you or remind you of various games to play when you lack a variety of games? This is a hard one, and this is one that is hard for me to answer, because here's the thing, and I explained this earlier this year, and I don't know if it rang home for too many people, is that I am one person, you are many, okay? I am one, you are thousands out there who all have different opinions, different likes, different dislikes, different things you'd like to see me play. And there have been many times when I said, okay, I really don't know what I'm going to play. What do you guys think? Do I get a consensus of people saying you should all play this? Usually not. Usually I literally get a cacophony of different things thrown at me. There's no real consensus. Even if I've done polls. Remember I was doing polls on the website? What should I play? And I would poll people. They would vote. The game would win the poll. And then not even as many people who voted on would watch the videos. Because they were like, no one wants to watch that. So when there's a time when there's not a definitive big release coming out, okay, and it's not something that I know everyone's going to want to see me play, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've tried forum feedback. I've tried feedback on Twitter. I've tried all kinds of things. It never works because there's many of you and one of me, and all of you want to see different things unless a popular new game comes out. Of course you want to see me play the popular new game, right? So it's tough. It really is tough. And a lot of the times what I have to do is just pick and choose. Like earlier this year, I put my foot down. I said, I'm playing Dragon Age Origins. I don't care if anyone asks me to play. I'm just doing it. I don't give a shit. It's getting done. And I did it. And I'm glad that I did it. It took months to beat. Not many people watched the whole playthrough, but I did it. And I have the background for later this year, Dragon Age Inquisition. I had to get it done, right? So what this guy is saying is basically, you missed out on games that we wanted to see you play. How can we tell you? Well, first of all, I would like to know what games it is that I missed, because I'll tell you this. Everyone was complaining about you're playing too many RPGs, but there was no consensus of people standing up and saying, well, you should have played this, okay? The one time that even comes to mind was the Trials Fusion game, right? Or I think that's what it's called, Trials Fusion, the one that I got, and eventually John Rambo and I did co-op in a couple weeks ago. But when that game was coming out, not one person, now keep in mind, I had mentioned my gaming schedule. I do a video where I explain all the games I'm interested in playing. I didn't mention it. Not one person mentioned Trials Fusion to me until the day it was released. The day it was released, Phil, are you going to play this game? It came out today. What game? Trials Fusion. I didn't even know it was coming out. I don't know anything about it. No one mentioned it to me. You know, there was nowhere where there was anyone actively asking me to play it, at least on Twitter or in my comments. No one on the video of the schedule that I made was like, Trials Fusion, Trials Fusion. No one. So if that doesn't exist, how do I know that you guys want to see me play a game? Right? I mean, that's just the bottom line. How do I know? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I have to do straw polls on the floor. I don't know if anything would ever work because there's so many of you versus one of me. And so whenever I ask this question, I'm going to get an outstanding amount of voices who I want to see him play this. And if he doesn't play this, I'm not interested. And that's what seems to happen every time I do a poll. I want to see him play Devil May Cry 3. If he doesn't play Devil May Cry 3, I'm not going to watch whatever he plays. So, Grand Theft Auto 4's DLCs win out. This other game wins out. And those are great. And by the way, those playthroughs that I played last year when I was doing the polls were great. And I had fun doing them, right? But people are of this mindset. If I don't get to see what I want to see, I'm not going to give anything else a chance. And then, of course, if I'm not playing what you want to play, now you feel like you're pissed at me. You're personally pissed at me because I didn't play what you wanted me to play. And you say, Phil doesn't listen to his fans. No, it's the contrary. The fans don't agree on what you want me to play. If there was one outstanding game, Phil, you must play this before you do anything else, I would do it. So when there's no consensus on what to do, I'm just going to play what's new. So you had games like Child of Light. You had the Final Fantasy HD Collection, Tales of Symphonia HD Collection. I was already playing Dragon Age Origins. You have all these RPGs. I'm going to play them, you know? And I don't know. I would love to know what method I should use to get accurate feedback on who will watch what if I play it, but there's none. This is a whole new thing. How many people can actively say, right, that their living is dependent on what people want to see them do? Right now, an actor who's in Hollywood chooses what movies he wants to be in based off of what he thinks, right? He may be a guy that typecasts himself and is only in horror movies. He may be a guy that's more versatile and he decides to be in this action movie, this horror movie, and this drama, right? And it's up to you to watch the movies with your dollar and pay and say if we like you in this kind of movie or not. For me, it's the opposite, right? I just got to decide what I'm going to play, and then you subsequently either watch or don't watch. But what I found is, unlike those guys, usually, if, I like that act, I like Leonardo DiCaprio and whatever he's in, so I'll just watch whatever movies he's in. For me, it's been harder. It's harder because people are saying, well, there's so many more people doing what you do, Phil, and they have commentary like you, and yeah, at one point you were an originator, now you're not anymore because so many people jumped on the Let's Play bandwagon. It's hard for us to just watch everything you do, so we're going to watch what we like, but you all like something different. And this is where it's tough. I don't know. But it's funny because, again, this guy is literally speaking matter-of-factly. Like, well, it's a matter of fact, Phil, that everyone wanted you to play something outside of an RPG, and it was these few things and you didn't do them. But did he say what they were? No, because it doesn't exist. There was no consensus that I should have been playing Trials Fusion instead of an RPG. There was none. In fact, no one even mentioned the game till it came out. So this is what I mean. I'm in a complete unique situation, an interactive medium, and I don't know how to do better. If anyone has recommendations, go for it. But besides straw poll or polling on the forums, none of that works. I tried it, all failed. So I don't know. That's my answer, and sometimes I don't have answers for you. Unfortunately, I don't know. Sorry. Next question. This one is from GL, and he says, hey Phil, I know that for a while now you've been doing Twitch, and you only accept donations in the form of subscribers on Twitch, upon which I am. That is true. I do not accept any just donations through PayPal or anything. If you want to try to go the extra mile and help me financially a little bit, become a paid subscriber on Twitch, because that not only helps me, that helps you, and it helps everyone who's a paid subscriber on Twitch, who maybe we can get better emotes and things going, okay? So now I continue with this question. He said, my question to you is, will you be planning to allow fans to donate money directly to you just like you used to? Like those YouTuber Street Fighter Challenge days where you fought against popular YouTubers like Free One Up and the King Kindred and Street Fighter. I'd very much like to support you on a larger scale. First of all, I don't know what he's talking about, because those Free One Up and the King Kindred challenges that I did had nothing to do with PayPal. And I didn't take any donations for those, so I think he may have a misconception there about what really happened. Those were just guys who challenged me. I said, okay, I'll play you. And both matches were incredibly laggy. I won one and I lost one. So, and then I said, forget it. It's too laggy. I don't care about this. I'm not doing it anymore. It is true that at one point I did accept PayPal donations. That was way before I ever got partnered with Machinima. That was before I was just doing it as a hobby and I still had a full-time job. And I said, if you want to see me do this continuously as a hobby and you want to send a donation, I'll use that money to buy new games, right? I wasn't making money doing it, so there was nothing to reciprocate the hobby. Then, when I got laid off from my full-time job, yes, I said, please, by all means, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm unemployed right now. I have no hope of getting another job in the same sector. I don't know if this YouTube thing is going to work out. And for a couple months there, I accepted donations. But as of early 2011, I cut it off, and I no longer accept donations. There were actually a couple people who didn't listen, sent me money, and I sent it back to them. I said, no, if I can make a living doing this, right, if I can earn my living, I will do it. I will not sit here and beg. I will not sit here and do all this kind of stuff. I want to earn my living. Or at least if you're going to give me money, let me give you something back through the form of the Twitch partnership, okay? So, no, I have no plans to open up anything. Now, here's the thing. There was actually someone, I don't believe I put them in here, but there's people who recently have been sending me stuff. I talked about this on a previous Ask the King, this website called Patreon.com, where basically people who are artistic, people who put out entertainment content, whether it's music, movies, gameplay, video series on YouTube, live streaming on Twitch, people who create content for you on a daily basis, all right? This is a way for you, I guess, to support them through this website. I don't know if this legitimizes it, so it's not just money thrown towards PayPal, but it shows, oh, it's through a third-party website. It's all documented income and stuff like that for tax purposes. I have no idea how it works. Now, if I knew how it works, maybe I would look into it. I don't understand how it works. But again, if it's just that you're going to throw money at me for nothing, no, then I don't want that. I want you to get something out of it. But on the flip side of it, I don't want to make it so that I'm only making certain content or certain quality of content available to people who pay. I think that's wrong. I think that all content should be free. All content should be of the highest quality. And then if you want to help me out through the, watching the videos, watching the ads, disabling your ad block when you watch my content, or becoming a paid subscriber on Twitch, then you can go the extra mile and do it. But not that I'm forcing you to do it to get the content. I don't like that, okay? The whole YouTube thing didn't work like that, right? The whole YouTube thing doesn't work like that. So, I'm actually just looking at some people here who were talking in the chat, but Doesn't seem like anything is too interesting or like impertinent to the subject. So it is what it is. All right. In the future, if I am fundraising for a specific project, so let's say I move to this new place in Washington. It's working out. I sell this condo in Connecticut. That's great. Year or two down the line, I want to do something different, creative, interesting, and fun. Maybe Project 7 gets revived. Maybe it's a new creative series that I want to do. But I know that myself, I don't have the means to do it. I may have to hire a videographer. I may have to hire someone who's good at editing and video effects to do it. I don't have that money to front them. Maybe then I would do a project on Kickstarter or Patreon or whatever and say, here's the scope, here's what you'll get, the project will be created, you'll get perks or whatever, just like everyone else does. Because this is becoming more and more popular, Kickstarter or whatever, everyone's doing stuff on it. Then I would do it. But not just send me money so that I can keep doing what I'm doing. I don't agree with that. There's plenty of people who beg for it on Twitch, who beg for it on YouTube. Here's my PayPal account. I'm not going to do that unless I'm so fucking destitute, right? But even then, if I was destitute, I would go try to get another job to support this rather than begging you guys for money. That's just how I am, okay? All right. Let's see here. Oh, my God. All right, this is a long question. I'll answer this, and then we'll take a break, and we'll do the final part. It's going to be a four-parter this time, guys, and I apologize because of the technical difficulties and everything going on. All right. This one is from Tringetto. He says, before I share my question, I need to share with you a story. I'm a senior in high school, and as a senior, a lot of events have opened up for me, one of them being prom night. I wanted to go to prom because I wanted to have fun with my friends, and I wanted to experience something that I don't do too often. I didn't want to miss this opportunity because I will feel bad missing a once-in-a-lifetime experience with friends who I will most likely never see again after high school. My mom was supportive of my decision of going to prom, but my dad was not. Because of this, my dad and I had a heated argument that was based on parental control. He wanted me to listen to him and all the time because he believed that if I listened to him, I would have no problems in life. Anyway, let's keep going. I disagreed with his rationale because I felt like some of my dad's decisions robbed me of the beneficial opportunities that I could have ventured to, such as going to prom. So as a result, I had a miserable and lonely time at school the day of prom since almost every senior didn't go to school that day because they were all busy getting ready for the event. My question is, what are your feelings on parental control? I remember you touched upon this a little bit in one of your Ask the King segments. For me, I say it's a necessary evil because parental control is needed for disciplining your child, but at the same time, your child can be robbed of opportunities based on how you feel about his or her wishes and the situation involved. Thanks for reading and stay positive. What a question. All right. I've already said it this episode, and I'll say it again. This is a very good policy to live your life by. Everything in moderation, okay? When you're growing up, your parents may seem overbearing. Your parents may seem know-it-all-ish. Oh, we know better than you. You should listen to everything that we have to say. What you have to realize, and it's not every case. There are some parents who are just fucking sickos. Most of the time, parents are doing this because they want what's best for you. It's not because they're looking to hold you back, because they don't want you to have a fun time, because they're just malicious dicks. There are parents like that, okay? There are. But I have to believe somewhere in my head a positive thought that most parents aren't just trying to thwart their kids from having a good life and having fun. More than likely, there's a reason why parents are being overprotective, okay? In my case, my parents were being overprotective. I'll tell you why. Because they were having problems with their marriage. I know I've never really talked about this publicly before. I will right now. This is real and from the heart. They were having problems with their marriage at the time when I was in high school. They may or may not have cheated on each other. I don't know or care because it's not my fucking business and I don't give a shit what they did, right? But what they decided to do, they decided to put me in the middle of it and make me the center of the issue. So, well, we hate each other's guts. Look what you're doing. You're going to tear our family apart. What's going to happen to Phil because of this and that? And literally they made me the center of it when really I had nothing to fucking do with it. It was those two. So no, you can't go out with your friends. You got to stay home and save your money and do what we tell you and this or that. And basically they made me more like an object than anything else in their ongoing marital battle that they had when I was in high school. Okay. And again, I know that I never talked about this before, so I'm being real with you guys. All right. And so for me, I understood why they were doing it. They kind of thought, well, gee, if this marriage goes south or whatever, at least we can still take care of our son. We want to make sure our son doesn't end up in a position like this. We want to make sure our son doesn't make bad decisions. But quite honestly, what ended up happening was that it was just discipline for the sake of discipline. No, you cannot go out with your friends tonight. Why not? Because I said so. Well, I don't understand. I did all my homework. Everything's done. I've gone out before and proven that I can go out, come back in a proper time, and be here for school tomorrow. No, can't go out. What the fuck? You know? I would be working, saving up all my money from my job, my part-time job when I worked in a mall at fast food, doing salads and frozen yogurt and stuff. I would save up for 6 months to go to a tournament, and they would yell at me, why are you going wasting your money? What do you mean wasting my money? It's my money. I can spend it how I want. No, how dare you? Go ahead, but we don't approve of what you're doing, and you're wasting your life and your money. And it was like never good enough for them, right? They were always super over-disciplined. To the point where finally I had enough, and at the end of junior year, I basically, that summer, I take that back. It was actually senior year, most of senior year, I kind of just told them I was going to do whatever I wanted, okay? And it got to the point, let me put it this way. I don't know if we've even talked about this either. Let me put it this way. My parents trusted me enough to buy me a car. They did. They bought me a car. Was it brand new? No, I can't even remember. I know it was a Ford Escort. And I got into a car accident in it. It wasn't my fault, but it ended up being my fault because the guy who was at fault, who swerved in front of me and almost ran me off the road, took off. So there was I didn't get to see his license plate. No one got a witness. So they said, oh, you lost control of your car. I'm like, no, this guy almost hit me, but they wrote it off as it was my fault. The car got totaled. All right. The first thing my mom says to me in the hospital is not, are you okay? Oh my God, what happened? No. Why did you disobey my wishes and drive on that highway? I told you not to. And at that point, I said, you know what? Fuck this. Because if you're going to make life about you and not about me anymore, I don't care. And I literally told my parents after that, I will go out whenever I want. I don't give a shit. If you're going to kick me out of the house, kick me out of the goddamn house. I'll go live with my friends because I've had enough of your bullshit. You're absolutely overly disciplined for no reason. My grades are great. I'm not into drugs. I'm not into alcohol. I'm not doing any of these things that you would think that would be the problems, that would be the reason why they want me to stay home. And I said enough is enough. And for most of senior year and then that one summer between senior year and college, I wasn't even home. I wasn't. I'll do what I want. And basically it taught them a lesson, that I am not their bargaining chip to be used between their marital problems, to be used between all their shit, right? And it straightened them out a little bit, especially when I went to college. It did straighten them out a little bit, and they stopped doing that shit, okay? But the bottom line is, somewhere in there, okay, they did do that stuff because they cared about me. They wanted the best for me. They maybe didn't want me to run off and get involved in drugs and getting girls pregnant and doing all this stuff, and they were afraid. They did it in the wrong way. It's like I said, everything in moderation. Okay, no, you can't go out every night of the week, but I'll let you go out 1 to 2 nights of the week if you can prove that you're responsible and you're going to be doing your homework and you're going to be there and you're going to have your responsibilities completed. It's the same thing when you get to the workforce later on after you graduate from school. If you can go to work and be there on time and do your job sufficiently and then go home and hell, do whatever you want. Go out partying, have a drink, play video games at night, however you let loose, as long as you're able to do that and then get back to your ass on your work the next day and fulfill your responsibilities, then do it, right? And that's what parents need to be doing. If the kid's succeeding, fine. If the kid's failing, no. Then you have the disciplinary actions that need to be pulled back. So I don't know what the situation is here, Tringetto, with what happened with your prom. I don't know anything about your academics. I don't know about your friends. Maybe your parents disapprove of your friends who you wanted to hang out with at prom. But it seems to me like your mom thought it would be fine, and your dad, for whatever reason, if what you're saying is true, that he just thinks that prom was wrong and you shouldn't go. That's ridiculous, okay? And I agree with I completely 100% agree with you that that's absolutely fucking ridiculous, that your dad would be like that if he's just for the sake that he thinks he knows better and he has no reason. And that's the bottom line. If parents would just learn how to communicate with their children and explain to them why they feel that something is the right thing to do, instead of just saying, because I said so, because they think that's the easier way, then, I mean, a kid would probably understand you, right? Right? What if, oh, I just heard that that one of your friends is into drugs, And I'm afraid that, he's going to try to do something tonight. Then maybe I would understand why they don't want me hanging around with that kid that night. That's different than I just told you so and I know better than you. And you can't say shit like that, okay? So, I don't know the situation. I can tell you one thing, though. If you didn't go to prom and you did not have a girlfriend, for example, who you were taking to prom, or there's potential that she would become your girlfriend because you were taking her to prom, you missed nothing. Zero, okay? Prom is a different thing for everyone. Some people go just as groups of friends and they have a good time. Some people go with their significant other, like I just said, your girlfriend or potential girlfriend, and that's cool. Some people do the wrong thing. They drink, they do drugs, they fuck everything under the sun, and they ruin their lives, right? There's going to be groups of everything, every kind of person that go to prom. The bottom line is prom is incredibly expensive. It is a nerve-wracking time because you're saying, I spent all this money and I got to, try to perform or be funny or have fun or whatever. My situation was actually worse than yours. My situation was this. Here's how funny this is, right? So, in high school, I had one girl who I was sweet on. I had a crush on her, hardcore crush, for like 2 years straight. After 2 years of her telling her she wasn't going to go out with me, I said, no, enough. She's not going to go out with me. She's not. Fuck it. I don't care anymore. When I was junior year, I had another girlfriend that lasted a few months, didn't work out. There was another girl who I went out with who was not from my high school. Went out with her for a few months. That didn't really work out. By senior year, I didn't give a fuck about anything. I was like, I just want to get out of this school. This school is lame. I was one of those kids. I was in the clique that wasn't a clique. The misfit group of kids that weren't jocks, weren't geeks, weren't any of those things, right? We were just the kids who just fucking don't give a shit. We don't care about getting girlfriends in this stupid school. We don't care about getting good grades. We just want to get through senior year, get the fuck out of here and get on with our lives because we had enough of this stupid drama queen bullshit that is high school. And it was funny because we became a group. It was like 5 or 6 of us who became a group like that, and it became a clique. We created our own clique, basically. And so by the time prom was coming around, I didn't give a fuck. I'll admit, I thought for a while I might want to go. I did. I thought for a while I might want to go. I didn't even bother asking the girl who I had the crush on for 2 years. I said, fuck her. For 2 years, she blew me off. She said, no, I'm not going to bother. Fuck her. Let her find someone else to go to prom with. And she did. There was another girl who was kind of the nerdy girl in school. She was an Asian girl, but she was cute. I thought she was cute, and I was friendly with her. I never really hung out with her or anything, but we had, talked a few times, went to a movies once or twice. We had a lot of stuff in common, some common interests of TV shows and stuff. And I asked her out, and she acted like I was punking her. You're not really serious. You don't want to go to prom with me. I was like, yes, I do. No, you don't want to go to prom with me. I don't believe you. You're punking me. This will be a joke, or you'll regret it afterwards. Or maybe you're trying to find the girl that's easy or whatever. And when she said that, I said, enough. I said, you know what? I don't need your bullshit, your drama. I was trying to be nice, maybe go to prom with someone who I was friendly with in school. Fuck you. Enough. Done. I don't care about prom anymore. So that was the end of I didn't care about prom anymore. I was like, done. It's literally like 3 weeks before prom. Not even, maybe 2 weeks before prom. A girl breaks up with her boyfriend. Okay? All of a sudden, she has no one to go to prom with. The people who wanted to go to prom already had dates. But she had gotten wind that I had asked someone to prom and then finally said, fuck it. And I was the kind of guy who didn't give a shit. She said, maybe him, So she asked me, would you want to go to prom with me? I said, all right, well, let's think about it. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I was interested in going. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I'm not really, I wasn't horny for the girl. I wasn't really even that friendly with the girl, to be quite honest. Earlier, a few years back, she had actually made fun of me. And now, because I become part of this clique, all of a sudden, she was getting friendly with me. I don't really understand that. But, she's like, all right, so there's this one other guy who I've also asked her, both maybes, basically. So, if you could get the ticket or whatever, get the ticket, and if you get our tickets, fine, and then we can start working on, I'll get a dress, and you get a tux or whatever, and a car ride or whatever. I said, okay, fine. So I thought about it for about a night. I said, fuck it, shoot the J, let's do it. Buy the tickets, everything, talk to my parents. My parents were like, we thought you didn't have a girlfriend. I don't, but this girl out of nowhere, hey, it's an opportunity, even if it doesn't work out, I don't even like her, fuck it, at least I'm at prom, right? Okay. So we start doing reservations. We're going to get a tuxedo. We're pricing stuff out. Next day I go to school. Oh, I'm going out with the other guy. What? I'm going with the other guy. Well, you asked me. You said if I got the tickets, we would go. Yeah, he got tickets too, so I'm going with him. I was like, fuck you. And I got so fucking pissed at her. I was like, what the fuck is your problem? Then it was hilarious because the other guy tried to confront me in the school gymnasium, right? He tried to confront me like he's tough shit because he chose him over her. I picked up a fucking chair and I said, if you take one more step, I'm going to brain you, you fucking stupid idiot. I don't care about prom. I'm pissed that she told me that we were going to go. I bought tickets. I wasted my money. I lucked out. I went back. Luckily, the person who was in charge of prom was the dean he used to be the head of the English department. He was called the dean of discipline. I know, it's crazy. I said, listen, can you please just throw me a hook or a favor here? I spent a lot of money on these prom tickets. The girl's a fucking flake. I didn't want to go in the first place. I should have known better. And he actually gave me a refund, which he didn't do for anyone else. It was incredible. The guy was so nice. Like, yes, here, take your refund. So that was my prom experience. I didn't go, and guess what? I don't regret it. I saved a shit ton of money. I saved a shit ton of regret. I might have gone with this girl who really wasn't interested in going with me in the first place. So if you really didn't have, like, a date or whatever, there's no reason to even go to prom. Fuck it. It's a stupid social thing. Oh, you're going into adulthood. Whatever. It's bullshit. It's the same stupid high school drama. You got to conform to what everyone says it is. At that point, I didn't give a fuck. I kind of got tempted into it and then backed out of it. So you didn't miss much. But in regards to your dad, obviously you got to have some kind of a talk with this guy, because if he thinks he's just doing stuff for the sake of he knows better, that's the worst reasoning. Ask him, what is the real reasoning I couldn't go to prom? Did you not trust one of my friends? Were you afraid that I was going to get into drugs and alcohol? Because there has to be a real reasoning, not because I know better and you should live your life by what I say. That's the worst thing you could do to a kid. The kid will not give a shit about what you say, and they will do the opposite just because you said it. Don't ever do that as a parent. Okay. I'm going to take another break. God damn it. We have to take another break here. I know. And we're going to come back. And then we're going to have the final part of Ask the King. It's an incredibly long episode, but we will get through it in this next part. I promise. I'll be right back. See you then. If you're on YouTube, just go to the next part. If you're on Twitch, stick in there. The conclusion is coming.